So on my Jack Kirby Thousand Oaks display, I have my core Fantastic Four: Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Kit Bash, Invisible Woman, Susan Richards, Herbie the Robot, 1/12 scale statue of Doctor Doom there, Jack Kirby himself, one of his little characters, Silver Surfer, the Thing, and the Human Torch, and the bodies for Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic and the Thing and the Human Torch. Those figures are all from the Fantastic Four retro line. And as I say, they're part of my Thousand Oaks Jack Kirby shelf. And then we have these guys. Welcome back to Action Figure Obsession. It's me, your old pal, Avian and Loaded, sometimes known as Avian and Lotion, sometimes known as Aviation and Loaded. It just really depends on the caffeine level on any given day. So the first ones that I showed you there on the Jack Kirby shelf, the Thousand Oaks Jack Kirby display in my toy room, those were all different figures from these. Well, I mean, in some sense, a couple of them are the same. This flamed on Human Torch, third from the right. Math is hard. The flamed on Human Torch, that's the same figure, it's just a different one. But it is the same exact retro Human Torch. I have two of those. I grabbed all these from the top of one of my bookcases where I kind of stick stuff that I don't know what to do with, and sometimes they sort of self-organize themselves into an idea. But yeah, this is the Fallen, also known as the Obsidian Silver Surfer. That is not the Silver Surfer that you just saw on the Jack Kirby shelf. That one is silver. This one is a very, very sort of gunmetal gray obsidian. He is a future Silver Surfer who is capable of, or worthy rather, of lifting Thor's hammer Mjolnir, and he actually came with Mjolnir, but I think I gave that Mjolnir to someone else. Mjolnir. It's so much fun to say, Mjolnir. Then we have the Secret Wars Doctor Doom here, which for the temporary headcanon purposes of this video, let's just say he's like an alternate universe Doctor Doom that maybe kept the Secret Wars outfit. And we have our Human Torch, and we have the Walgreens exclusive Ben Grimm thing back there. You can tell by the sort of teal accents, or not teal accents, but just the teal color of his trunks there. And then with this body, is that body on the Jack Kirby shelf? Now I can't think. I know I have two of those bodies. I'm trying to think where the other one is. That body right there with the long hair, that is the old man Hawkeye head, but he is in my head canon. See, I should explain the head canon. I should fire off my head canon. The idea is that all of these characters, there was an Avengers miniseries quite some time ago, 25 years ago, called Avengers Fourever by Kurt Busiek, and I think it was Carlos Pacheco that did the artwork. I apologize if I'm wrong about that. But that story saw Avengers from various timelines assembled. So Yellow Jacket, when he had amnesia and, forgot who he was or didn't know he was an Avenger. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was when he was all crazy and arrogant. Hank Pym, he's always got something going wrong in that head full of bad wiring of his. But it was when Yellow Jacket was a jerk. And then, I'm trying to remember. It was just different Avengers from different periods, different eras. And they were all thrown together and they had to go on kind of a cosmic mission. And my thought was that a team that would really be ripe for the sort of forever treatment of grabbing characters, perhaps not from different timelines or different eras, but different universes, different from all over the multiverse, all these different sort of variant Fantastic Four people thrown together for a mission. And clearly it's more than four of them. Even if we just count people dressed in a Fantastic Four uniform, it's still more than four of them here. But that's fine. because it's like a multiverse spanning cosmic adventure that I'm thinking of. So yeah, the Walgreens thing there in the middle, in the back, and then we have the body is the depowered or flamed off Johnny Storm, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive. You can tell it's not Reed Richards because Reed Richards doesn't have butterfly joints, and the Johnny Storm body does there at the shoulders. The Invisible Woman there is the Walgreens exclusive Invisible Woman. Really, I used to have that whole Walgreens set. Now I just have this thing and Invisible Woman, and I do regret that because that, to me, that uniform, that sort of teal colored blue, that uniform, that is the classic Fantastic Four. I know we have a whole generation of people who are wrong and think that this one in the center here is the classic costume that Johnny Byrne come lately recreated in the mid '80s, but for from the late '60s up until John Byrne changed their costumes around 82, 83, whenever that was. This was the classic costume. And, Fantastic Four is interesting because it's one of the few superhero teams. They didn't even have costumes for the first few issues. They just ran around in their civilian clothes, and then they got a costume that looked a lot like what Sue is showing off here. And so in the headcanon, we have the Fallen, the Obsidian Silver Surfer, and the alternate universe Secret Wars Doctor Doom. And then we have, let's say, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. He might be the one from the 616 universe. And Ben Grimm, maybe he is too. These guys, though, I'm not so sure. I see this guy as the leader, the one in the middle here. But he's not Reed Richards. He's not old man Reed Richards. I think that he might be either Franklin Richards, the son of Reed and Sue, who has grown to old age and was the leader of his own Fantastic Four, and then is thrown into this cosmic adventure. Or perhaps he's Sue's father, or he's the son of Johnny Storm, the Human Torch from another universe. I've given this a little bit of thought. The important thing is it's the old man Hawkeye head on the Johnny Storm Human Torch depowered body. This could be the regular Sue Storm, except it might not be because, in the early issues of Fantastic Four, the Submariner, Prince Namor, there behind her, and this is his savage look as drawn by Jay Lee back in this is the late 1990s, early 2000s. The Submariner had a thing for Susan Richards back then. I think she was still Susan Storm. She wasn't even married to Reed yet at that point. And, there was a little back and forth, a little will she, won't she, who does she like, who do you love? And I think the two of them are probably from the same universe, and they're probably together as a couple in this multiverse spanning storyline. And then this is another Invisible Woman, except that she is from her universe's Secret Invasion, and she was the Invisible Woman and was given the powers of the Invisible Woman, but she is actually a Skrull. And that head actually comes from the Spider-Woman 2-pack from the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Beyond 60 Years. 60 Years Beyond Earth's Mightiest, whatever it was, words. Just put them in the order that you like. So yeah, that actually originally was the Skrull Spider-Woman head. But it hit me one day, what if the Skrulls infiltrated the Fantastic Four, and she could be, and it really hit me because I had an extra Invisible Woman body, as you can clearly see. The other Invisible Woman body on this retro series body is back in the Jack Kirby display behind me, as I mentioned. That was why I showed those to you first. None of these, as I say, none of these is in that display. These are all, you could consider them extras, but most of them are a different look anyway for the characters. And I've thought about setting up some kind of a Fantastic Four Forever display. I like the ideas of the dynamic. I mean, this guy clearly was the leader of the Fantastic Four for decades, and now he's got to deal with all these people, some of whom are his, former enemies, or perhaps current enemies, and Johnny and Ben, they don't know him from Adam. I don't know, for some reason I wanted to say Dracula. They don't know him from Dracula. Hey, that'd be a really good old man Dracula head. But anyway, yeah, I'm picturing a 12 issue miniseries or maxi series as they try to set the multiverse straight and hope to all return to their own universes. And if you're wondering about that lamppost behind the Thing, that actually came with a McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse. I think it was a Batman. If it wasn't Batman, it was somebody else. But most of the DC Multiverse figures are Batman. You and I both know that. But I just thought, I thought that it would look cool because, Ben Grimm is from Yancey Street. So that could be like him on the corner on Yancey Street with that cool lamppost. And the thing about the lamppost is that it's kind of cool and kind of retro looking. It's very, very lightweight. So what I did was I packed it. It's hollow on the inside. I packed it full of blue tack, some sticky tack. This is the stuff you use, like if a head is too wobbly on a figure's neck, put a little dot of that on there, and it kind of holds the head on the neck peg without wobbling around. So yeah, I used like a couple bucks worth of that just to hold this lamppost down, and I'm trying to get it flat because it doesn't want to be flat. That's not bad. But anyway, I just thought, it would give you that kind of Yancey Street feel that they're maybe standing on the corner of Yancey Street waiting for the bus or whatever. But, yeah, Fantastic Four Forever. This is the idea that I have. And I'm going to have to make some space, I think, in some display so that all these guys can take their rightful place in the Fantastic Four Forever lineup. I thought about bringing Herbie the Robot over from the Jack Kirby display, but Herbie to me is an essential part of the Fantastic Four because I was watching that cartoon when it debuted back at the late 70s, early 80s. And you were like, where's the Human Torch? But Herbie the Robot was so cool. A Jack Kirby creation, by the way, like the rest of the Fantastic Four and almost every character in the book. Herbie the Robot was so cool that you kind of forgave them for not having the Human Torch in the cartoon. The rumor at the time was that they couldn't have the Human Torch because it would inspire children to, guess what? Set them on fire, set themselves on fire, set their friends on fire, set grandma on fire. But no. It actually was because, weirdly, the Human Torch and only the Human Torch had been licensed to appear in other media. Like somebody wanted to make a movie or a TV show or even a radio drama. I don't know what it was, but something involving the Human Torch. And so they didn't have the licensing rights to use him in the Fantastic Four cartoon that debuted, I think it was late 70s, 78, 79. And that was why Herbie the Robot was invented. But at least they had the right guy invent him, Jack Kirby, because Jack Kirby really is the only person that should be inventing characters for the Fantastic Four. And, of course, he's not really too capable of doing that anymore, but he was really good at it when he was alive. So, hail the king, Jack Kirby. Yep. So anyway, I guess in a way this is kind of a tribute to Jack Kirby and his great creation, because I think that he would have knocked it out of the park if he drew a 12-issue maxi series called Fantastic Four Forever that involved all of these characters or whatever characters that he wanted to include in it, because when it comes to Fantastic Four, nobody knew better than Jack. And Stan Lee didn't know Jack, if you follow me. Okay, that's going to do it for this edition of Action Figure, Obsession, here on the Avian and Loaded channel. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you get notified when I do my next little bit of prestidigitation, whatever this is. And share it with your friends. If you have friends that like the Fantastic Four or kit bashing or Marvel Legends action figures, send them a link. Hey, look at what this nut job is doing. He's just rambling about action figures all day long. What the hell? Yeah, share it like that. All right, so I think that's going to do it for this one. Until we meet again, my friends. I'll see you on the next Action Figure Obsession.